We are living in an age where there is far too much information than we really need. And that's why the search engine has become an essential tool in our everyday lives. For example, I'm pretty sure that most of us use Google to find the exact information we need from the internet. But Google is not the only search engine that we use. When we're shopping on Amazon or eBay, we use the search functionality on these websites to find the things we want to buy. Much closer to home, there is a search engine built into our computers and mobile phones, so that we can easily search through our documents, pictures, emails, contacts. Thanks to Microsoft, Google, Apple, perhaps even Facebook. So what do you think? Can you spend a day without touching a single search bar? Just imagine for a moment. Your boss tells you to find some information from the internet with the condition that you cannot use Google. What would be your reaction? Something like this? The reality though is that most of the time when we are doing our day-to-day job, we do not have access to a search engine, even when that job involves going through tons and tons of data. And we seem to be okay with it. But why? Of course, the documents that you have to review will vary depending on your profession, but it is data nonetheless. The other way to look at it is the new opportunities that search engines create. Say you are an investigative journalist, and you have just received a dossier of some very sensitive information. Wouldn't it be great if you could run a Google-like search tool on that information? Or maybe you are a forensic investigator, and you are investigating a financial crime, which involves going through tons and tons of documents. Same story. The first thing you should probably consider is to prepare your search engine. I hope I have made my point here as to why being able to create your own search engine is perhaps a valuable skill to have. Before we dive into the technical details, I would like to show you what I mean by create your own search engine. So I have built a demo search tool using real data from one of the very well documented incidents of corporate fraud and corruption, the Enron scandal from 2001. The Enron scandal is an interesting case study because it has all the key ingredients. There was accounting fraud, there was corruption, people were arrested and were later put behind bars, thousands of people lost their jobs, and it still remains one of the world's largest bankruptcies. More importantly, there is still a lot of data available from this incident that we can use for educational purposes, such as this demo. The dataset I'm going to use is the Enron email archive. So what exactly is this email archive? During the Enron investigation, the US government seized the email archives of 150 mostly high-ranking Enron employees, which was later made public to support the findings of this investigation. The email archive still remains in public domain. It is about 1.7 gigabytes in size and contains over 517,000 emails. I'm not sure how such a large number of emails were reviewed at the time of the Enron investigation in 2001, but through this demo, I will hopefully show you how you can use a search engine for that purpose. You can easily find the Enron email dataset using Google. Once you have downloaded and unzipped the file, it looks something like this. The search tool I have created can be accessed using a standard web browser, and this is what it looks like. At the top, you have the search bar where you can key in the search phrase. You can further refine the search results using the filters on the left, such as the sender of an email, the date an email was sent, the individual whose inbox contained an email, and a subfolder within an inbox. The figure here is the total number of matching emails found. At the moment, I have not specified a search string or a filter. So this number 10,000 represents the total number of emails you can see on this page. That's a number I have specified in the tool. You can of course set it to whatever you like. The main body of the page contains the search results. For each email found, the tool displays the subject of the email, the sender's email address, the recipient's, the date it was sent, the owner of the inbox, and the actual file name in the Enron email archive. You can view the full email by clicking on this bar. Let me type in the word fraud in the search box. That's 1215 matches. As you can see here, the tool highlights where the matching keyword was found. Let me check how many of these emails are from Ken Lay's inbox. Ken Lay, by the way, was the CEO of Enron at the time. Let's remove the filters and explore what else we can do with this tool. Let's say I want to find all those emails containing the terms fraud and finance. This is how I can do that. Let's randomly select a sender. Okay, there's nothing interesting here, so let me remove the sender filter. Let's say I'm interested in the emails containing this specific phrase. Let me apply a date filter to the search results and see what we get. I hope you can see how powerful this tool is. You're not constrained by what you can search or filter, and you can use it in so many different ways to rapidly explore a large data set. What you see here are the different tools that I have used to create the email search application. They are all open source and cross-platform, so you can use them freely without any constraints, and they all work on Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. So let's quickly go through each of these tools. Elasticsearch is the main component here. It is essentially a search engine which has been built using an open source library called Apache Lucene. You can think of Apache Lucene as a toolkit that allows you to create your own search engine from scratch, and Elasticsearch is one such implementation. In case you are interested, this is the website for Apache Lucene. As you can see here, Apache Lucene supports a variety of search queries, such as fuzzy matching, wildcard search, and not operators, and more. Since Elasticsearch is based on Apache Lucene, these features are also available in Elasticsearch. It is, however, important to note that there are two different distributions of Elasticsearch. One that is fully open source, and the other which is also freely available, but there are some restrictions imposed by the license. For personal or home use, either is probably fine. But in a business environment, depending on what you are going to use it for, you may prefer one over the other. Let me quickly show you how you can find them using Google. Both distributions come with very good installation guide. For small projects, I will say that it is pretty much plug and play. For bigger projects, where you require things like clustering and high availability, there are a few additional steps that you will have to go through. The other important thing to note is that Elasticsearch supports all major languages, as you can see from this page. I know that Japanese is supported as well, but it is not listed here. So try Google if the language you are interested in is not listed here. Python is a fantastic programming language for manipulating and analyzing data. In this instance, I am using Python to process the Enron emails and load the data to Elasticsearch as well. However, Elasticsearch supports a bunch of other programming languages as well. The other thing to note is that you can use these languages to programmatically execute search queries in Elasticsearch, so you don't always have to build a fancy user interface. For my Enron email demo, I manually downloaded the email archive from the internet. This is probably okay for a one-off type project, but for many practical use cases, you will have to build data pipelines so that you can send a continuous stream of data into Elasticsearch. You can either use one of the programming languages that Elasticsearch supports, or you can use something like Logstash. The quickest way to build a web browser-based user interface for Elasticsearch is to use the Reactive Search library. It has been specifically curated for Elasticsearch. It provides a number of pre-built UI components, such as a search box, drop-down menu, date selector, so you don't have to spend too much time creating the user interface. All in all, it took me just a few hours to build the complete Enron email search tool. Thank you for giving me 20 minutes of your time. I hope it was useful. I really do. So go grab some data and create a search tool, and see you in the next episode on this channel.